Greetings, everyone! Welcome to another episode of GameRage. We are a group of friends who decide to drink and chill and talk mostly about video games. Also, we're on video now! Hi, Mom!
Hi, Mom! Hi, Chris's mom!
I don't have a mom.
And we are back.
Hey.
That's not familiar.
Yes.
Is there an echo in here?
No.
That's okay. Go on, Chris.
Hi,
Whatever
everyone.
Your name is.
No, I'm not Chris. I am Toyota Cronola. And,
Toyota granola.
Cronola.
Oh,
amazing.
okay.
Or Cronola Bar.
Toyotas
I
are
was-
actually
I
mostly
was- I was
granola.
tying between the two.
Maybe next time.
Bar.
Granola bar is great.
Yeah.
Are you super crumbly?
He's
How'd you know? Well, more crunchy.
Oh.
Didn't we say crunchy is not an adjective you should use for your dick?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
never.
I'm a very unique fellow.
he's just
Squishy.
generally crunchy.
With a creamy center.
Yeah,
Oh God.
full of goo.
That sounded way grosser
Christ.
than I meant for it to.
Let's
Yeah,
immediately
sorry
abandon
about
ship.
You all know exactly what she meant.
Let's go to commercial.
Anyway. So, if any of y'all would like to play Star Wars Battlefront, I am Big K-Man 121 on PSN. I play Heroes of the Storm on the PC. I am Kyrian, and I need help. So if anybody would like to just roll with me, that'd be great. Today, I am drinking some Heinies. Heinekens.
There's a lot of gross that's going on at the beginning of this one.
Put his mouth all in that
Little
Heineken.
green heinies.
Can't get enough. Sucking it out of there.
Heinekens. Nice
I
and
love
light
Heineken,
and thirst
actually.
quenching.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
didn't
that's
know
like
that.
one of the. I don't like a lot of beer, but I like Stella and I like Heineken.
Stella's popular.
So
I was
It
gonna say
is
good, but I
popular.
don't
Yeah,
drink
it's not good. You are right, Ev. It is not good, but it is popular.
Yeah, why don't I understand that? I don't understand beer though, so that makes.
It's because they act like they're like better than other beers. They're like,
Right.
you need to drink us out of a
that's
chalice.
not
Fermented
what it is.
bread.
It's floral. I like
Floral?
it. It's like
Yeah.
aromatic.
Drinking
It's-
flowers is
Yeah.
great. Everybody loves it. That's why
Yeah.
everybody eats
Listen.
flowers constantly.
Listen.
Broccoli, cauliflower. Hello.
Those are flowers.
Those are flowers.
Cauliflower.
Those are some ugly flowers. Nor do we eat those.
Yeah. They don't
I've
smell nice
literally
either.
never
You ever
thought
s-
about the fact that there's the word flower and cauliflower
Yeah.
in my life.
Whoa.
It is
my
a
God.
flower.
Nobody's
and-
like
Broccoli
walking
Broccoli
through
is a
garden
flower.
and like grabs some cauliflower and is like, oh, delicious! I love the smell of the cauliflower. It's so beautiful and
Yeah,
Aromatic.
I'm definitely gonna bring a bouquet home for my girl
Yeah.
of cauliflowers.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
They're only. I was gonna say different colored ones, but they only come in white.
They
So
don't come in white, yeah.
I apologize to all the biologists out there.
yeah, and all of the chefs.
They're just like face palming right
Yeah,
now.
all
Pretty
one of
much.
you.
All both of you.
Yeah,
chefs.
or none. Nobody.
Or that.
We have no biologists that listen.
Yeah. When you have 0 listeners, you have 0 biologists listening to.
Statistically.
Yeah.
If you're listening, thank you so fucking much.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you've listened to us more than once.
And this is not your first foray, and you haven't given up on us
Yeah.
by now.
For some
We
Thank
got
you.
2
Yeah.
reviews, and that like fucking blew my mind.
I know.
So if you're listening to this and you feel like giving a review and
Yeah.
blowing my mind
SoundCloud,
again, like
iTunes.
Cheers to you,
I
review.
Even
can't
if like
even.
I listen to this every week and it fucking sucks. Like I feel like you listen every week.
Yeah.
God,
Oh my God.
that's
You
amazing.
beautiful
Okay.
flagellant.
Yeah. Chris, what do you?
Flagellant.
Yeah.
Flatulent?
No, well, either way.
Either or.
I was bringing
I
back
love
some.
this show.
What
Sorry,
are what are you
flagellant.
playing?
Yeah.
Skyrim
Oh, yeah.
Special Edition.
Of course you are.
Yeah, it's going to take another year or two.
Yeah, we're not gonna. Just be
It's-
lucky that Chris even came today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And I got giant jellyfish flying around.
Oh,
now.
that's right. You know those are from Mass Effect.
Awesome.
I realized when you sent me that it's one of the alien races from Mass. It's the Hanar.
I did not know that.
Earn my
but
nerd cred.
They're in Skyrim now.
Very nice.
That's cool.
Because
Hanar coordination.
Yeah.
Is it? God. Let's go to commercial. Specifically from. Is it from the previous games or is it only from Andromeda?
It's actually not in Andromeda because
Okay.
some of the alien races didn't come to the new.
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
I know they specifically kind of like wanted to do like all new races, which is
Yeah.
cool because it like expands the universe. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jellyfish.
and I've also been reading up a little bit on Elder Scrolls 6, which has not been announced. I apologize to everybody out there if I got your hopes up there for a split second. But
I was gonna say,
You've just been reading what fan fiction?
erotic fanfic.
Uriel Septim the Sixth gets
Yeah.
a unicorn horn shoved up his ass or
Yeah.
some shit like that.
but not by a unicorn.
Dragons
one of
mating
the
with
books that you can find in
crabs with
Skyrim.
monocles.
Ooh. Well, they have all that money. Dragons
Yeah.
love money.
That's
It's hot.
It's a fact.
Yeah, they like coming into gold, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the thing.
That's what myth says.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gross.
Sploosh.
Who doesn't though, right?
Yeah.
Am I right? yeah, yeah.
Oh, now
hey.
they know. Now they know.
Shit.
Oh, yeah. You're
Well,
busted.
if you're listening to the podcast,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is very real for you.
Yeah. Oh my God! You
You
almost.
better watch
Almost
my
cheesed
Jesus.
it.
Oh, Jesus, now.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Oh no!
Idiot.
Oh my
But,
God, we are so behind already.
Already.
Well, Bethesda has
okay.
confirmed that they will be making it soon.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Coming
time.
to us soon near you.
Yeah.
Soon.
Maybe we'll
Ish.
hear about it by 2019.
That'd be good.
And then they'll make a
might.
trailer for it by 2020, and then we can actually play the game in 2023.
Well, you know what they say, hindsight's 2020.
Well, the most hopeful things I've been hearing is that they might announce it this year for a next year release, because Bethesda has a habit of announcing things shortly before release, unlike several other companies.
Huh.
So I have hopes, but I will probably be disappointed.
He's got
Chris
high
is going to
hopes.
name his future daughter Bethesda.
That's actually not a bad name for
It's not.
if you want her to be a huge disappointment.
Noted.
Oh.
No, Chris will find out about her shortly before she comes
Oh
out.
my God! She was announced.
But no, she'll be amazing.
9 months ago.
Really good.
Yeah.
Until the next one comes
She'll
out.
look
Yeah,
fucking
the
gorgeous,
sequel.
She'll look
but
beautiful.
she'll have very little
Yeah.
content.
A lot of bugs.
But she'll be super open.
You
Yeah.
take that back. Skyrim.
Never have I before
She'll be-
been so scared that Chris was going to punch me in the face.
Don't
be-
say that they have no content.
Aw.
Yeah. No, they
Yeah.
have plenty of content.
Tons.
Yeah, she'll be
Oh, God.
she'll be
Oh, my God.
huge and very open. And wide open. But
For
yeah,
her
pretty
many
buggy too,
dungeons.
so.
Don't you dare talk about my non-existent daughter.
Aw.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Which way are we
Wait to
going?
meet her.
F.
Counterclocks. Why not?
Yeah, I'm
I'll
going
go.
in the middle.
Yeah, your
Alright.
clock. It's time for
Yeah, I'm a clock.
You don't know how clocks work.
I never cared.
TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok, motherfuckers. My name's Ev. And,
Time's up, bitch.
yeah, and time's up. Let's go to commercial. My name's Ev on PS4. Oh, no, Charizard. On PS4, I'm Keelut 2012, KEELUT 2012. Currently, I'm still playing Watch Dogs 2, but I just downloaded Saints Row 4 because it was $5, which is awesome. That's the best price. For
It's not
a game
$5
that's
anymore,
good. No,
sadly.
yeah, you guys are out of luck.
It's a
It
great
was
game though.
$5.
Used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
Once upon a
about
time.
fucking time I got my comeuppance because I paid full price for Rocket League and other games that were cheap for
Yeah.
a little while, and then
Yeah.
I didn't buy
You
them.
paid full price for Rocket League?
Yeah.
What the
I don't know.
fuck?
Because I had just gotten a system. I didn't have that many games, and like David was always playing his. So I was like, well, I
Yeah.
don't want to play, so I had to get my own.
And now he's still
Lame.
playing it.
Yeah,
Nobody
still
else
playing
is.
Rocket League 5 years later. Yeah. So, Saints Row 4. I want to play the fuck out of that. And yeah, what else? Oh, I'm drinking Red Bull Yellow Citrus, whatever, something.
Yellow Bull.
Yellow Bull. Yeah, why do they can't call it Red Bull? That's ridiculous. Yellow Bull mixed with Fireball. So it's like a fiery bull's balls.
Fireball. Hot bull balls.
Hot bull
Delectable.
balls.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I'm drinking.
It's a good
Spicy nut sack.
Yeah, hot bull ball sack nuts.
name. Awful. Cut.
Let's go to commercial.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Frothy nut sacks.
That's gonna be one of our shirts that we make. Is gonna have to just let's go to commercials.
Let's go to
right at the person looking. Yeah, that's me. That's it. I'm here. I'm queer.
Get
Get
used to
used
it.
Don't understand.
Well, I guess it is 2018 now.
Yeah.
So, do you know?
Sir, Charizard.
I am Dan. Dan, I am.
Ooh.
Do you
Will
like
I am?
Sam, I am.
green eggs and ham? Dan the Kool-Aid Man on PlayStation Network. Hit me up on Battlefront 2, or also very soon, Saints Row 4.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Re-addicted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, let's see. I am drinking Canadian Club out of my cool little barrel.
Yum.
Barrel guy thing. But I just
Barrel
got
guy.
Barrelman.
It's a good name.
John
Barrelman.
Barrelman.
Barrel.
I've named him officially.
Awesome.
And I'm just drinking it straight. And I am playing a lot of things right now still. I'm getting farther in Songbringer. I'm almost to the end. Some crazy shit just happened. It's sort of keeping my attention a little. That's a weird way to say it. Like, for some reason, all the games that I'm playing, I'm like just kind of like jumping in between. But
Took my shoes off.
but sometime I'll start playing one, and thank you for announcing that for all the listeners at home and even the viewers who probably can't see your feet. So it was literally irrelevant knowledge. Okay, thank you for putting your foot up there.
No problem.
We'll have like digital odor
Songbringers.
smelling technology
Yeah,
soon.
it'll come through your
so
TV.
Smell of vision.
So anyway, for some reason, all the games that I'm playing, like I like if I start playing them if I dedicate some time to them, I really get into them. But as soon as I step away, like I have to like make the effort to get back into them. They're not bad games. They're good. Like Fractured But Whole, Songbringer, all of those. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going back and forth. Oh, although I did in the sale, I saw that The Force
Oh yeah.
Unleashed 2
Yeah.
was available for PS3 for $5.
Star
So I
Killer.
got that. And it's pretty interesting. If you like the first one, you will like the second one. There's no question. Like if you like the gameplay is
Shit.
pretty fun. They kind of like changed some things. You have 2 lightsabers now. Story's not great. It's worse than the first game.
That's impressive.
Yeah, but it's fun. And in the second level, you can unlock Guybrush Threep Killer, quote unquote, Threep Killer, a skin. So
That's
you can
amazing.
just look like Guybrush Threepwood, and I have no reason to ever change costume again. I'm just running around as Guybrush Threepwood with 2
Yeah.
lightsabers and using the Force on everybody. And
Yeah.
even in not all the cutscenes, like the pre-rendered cutscenes are your fucking Star Killer.
Yeah.
But in the like in-game cutscenes, like the ones right before a mission and stuff like that, you're definitely Guybrush, like walking around looking all serious and like talking like.
It was funny because it didn't even look that out of place in the picture you sent. Like it didn't look so ridiculous that I really just thought it was a game I didn't know about. I didn't know it was Force Unleashed.
Oh, I didn't realize it was another Monkey Island game.
Yeah,
where he has
it looks
lightsabers. Of course.
intense. I don't know.
And it does, and it's funny because you're right. It doesn't look super out of place when it's just him, but like when you're in a cutscene and talking to like another character who looks way more human-like,
Yeah.
it definitely looks out of place with your like giant nose and your like elongated face and everything like that. But I think it's hilarious. I love it. I'm loving it. I'm having fun at least. So that's what I'm playing.
Yeah.
That's me.
I should have bought that. Damn.
Yeah, you should have.
2 lightsabers.
You can. I'll let you
Innovative.
play mine.
Yes.
I am Liz. Hello.
Hi.
On the PS4, I'm Blaby. That's BLAYYBEE. And on the sale, I bought Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which I played a little bit of the first one. I didn't finish it. This was before I had played like any like close combat games at all.
Huh.
So this way before. So I was like, I was super into the platforming, but I wasn't really into like the combat. So I kind of gave up on it. But now that I've gotten a little bit better, I decided to play this one, and I like it. I like the story. It's interesting. I like the platforming is super fun.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like a badass.
Is it? How does like the ease of it compare to the first game?
So you can adjust the settings. I have it so like the runner's vision. I have it set so that the runner's vision. Sorry, I'm still sick from last week.
Yeah.
The runner's vision doesn't automatically come up.
Oh, okay.
So I can just like look for avenues. Where like the runner's vision, for people that don't know the game, like it'll show you where to go to platform. So it'll come up and it'll be like, it'll show you the pole
Right.
that you're supposed to climb. It'll make it red, or it'll show you like the box that you're supposed to jump on top of to get to the next level and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I have it so it's not automatically set. So I can kind of choose what path. And that's one of the good parts of the game, is that a lot of this stuff actually is platformable.
Okay,
So you can
yeah.
go like however you want. As long as
Yeah.
you can find a way to get somewhere, you can use that way to get
cool.
there. It's
Yeah.
not always the fastest way. So if it's a timed challenge, like I would recommend using the runner's vision,
Yeah.
because it'll
Right.
sometimes tell you the fastest way. But if you're just getting from one waypoint to the next, like
Yeah.
you can do it however you want.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
It's less linear in that way.
Yeah,
That's
it's
neat.
cool. And
appreciate that.
the upgrades they give you are pretty cool. So like sometimes, initially you're just running around and you can basically just jump over stuff, but then
Nice.
you get a like a grappling hook that you can like latch onto stuff and swing from building to building, and then you get something that you can like use to pull things down so you can
Like
go to
fire
places
escapes or
that you
whatever.
couldn't.
Yeah.
Or ladders or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I will say one thing that's kind of annoying is that when you open up the map, it's supposed to be, they try to make it really like user integrated. So they have you create a profile, an EA profile, which I'm not crazy about because I don't play EA games.
Yeah.
So they have you make this, and then anybody who plays the game can like put a challenge on the map. So like, and there's no way, at least that I found, maybe there is. Let me know if there is. I don't know. To deactivate that. So like when I pull up the map, instead of there just being like the challenges for the game and like the waypoints, there's like hundreds of these user created challenges.
Oh, there was another game. That
So
did
it like
that.
clutters the map and I
Yeah.
can't fucking see. I'm like, where's the mission that I'm supposed to do? Like, I don't understand. Like, where is it? There's like
Yeah.
1 billion fucking points on the map.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go. So that's a little frustrating. But overall, I would say, like, if I had to rate it right now, having completed, like, I don't know, I'd say maybe like 40 or 50%, I would say I would give it like a 7 out of 10.
As far as the platforming goes, is it kind of like parkour, first
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
kind of thing? Okay.
It's definitely like first person, and like you run around and you grab, you know, the poles and you can see yourself swing around, and
Okay.
you have to do like, you have to hit L2 at like the exact right moment when you're falling to do a roll. Otherwise, you'll slam on the ground and then
you're
it'll
crunching.
stop your momentum.
Right.
And,
And then you can't. It'll hurt you a little
Yeah.
bit, and you know, the faster you go,
You lose that
the
flow.
more momentum you get, which makes you better at the parkouring. So if you lose momentum, sometimes you can't always do that wall run
Yeah.
because you don't have enough speed.
Yeah.
So if you hit that ground
Right.
real fast or real hard, and then the next thing is a wall run, you're gonna have to find another way because you don't have enough speed anymore to do that.
Or enough ankles that are not broken.
Right.
Yeah, that too.
But if you roll into it, you know, you can keep that up and
Keep the momentum.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Chris, I apologize. I thought you were going to be like, as far as the player challenges, I actually really like that. But no, yeah, it's funny, Ev. I was literally, she told me about that too, and I was
Yeah.
trying to think there is another game that implemented that to
Yeah.
like, and it was like really innovative at the time. And it's funny because I feel like most people who like play games who are like social people, which is none of us.
No.
Maybe Chris, maybe a little bit.
little
Sometimes
sociable.
Ev. But the least in me, a little bit Liz sometimes. But like for the most part, we're just like, no, thanks.
No,
Like
don't
we'll just
want
play
it.
our game. Don't try to jump in with a game with me or anything like that.
Yeah. It just
Unless it's
seems
Battlefront, we'll have fun with that.
weirdly, like maybe this is like a bad attitude for me to have about it, but it seems like a little like narcissistic to me to be like,
Oh, yeah.
man, I did this run really fast. Somebody should try to beat me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Well,
who
you
the
know,
fuck are you? Like, who fucking cares? Like,
some would say it's like, oh, this is fun, friendly competition. It's like I'm really proud of what I did here. Like,
There's gotta be a
let's
way to
throw out
turn
that
that shit
challenge.
off.
Let's see if
there has to be, right?
Yeah.
I've looked all over.
Yeah.
And another thing I will say, the interface, like, for the game, just like the menus and stuff, is like a little confusing.
Oh.
So like it doesn't, I feel like it doesn't really have good flow.
Yeah.
And I would relay that back to, just because Dan's playing it right now and I'm still like kind of watching him.
Yeah.
Like with the fractured butthole, like with the
butthole.
the fractured butthole, with the
T.
whatever, with the iPad menu interface that they use is like brilliant. It's
Yeah.
super easy to use. It makes a lot of sense. It flows really well and it's fun.
Okay. Yeah.
But with this, I just feel like it's really confusing.
Yeah.
Like I never really know what to do, and it's all supposed to be like this white glass, like futuristic thing,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
really hard to read and stuff. It's that thing that we were talking about with the, like in the fractured butthole, like the really super small text.
Yeah. You can. Yeah.
Like it's just, I don't know. So it's 7 out of 10 because it's like really fun to play, and when
Yeah.
I'm playing it, I'm having a lot of fun, and the story is good, but it gets points off for having those like minor like technical
Yeah.
shittiness.
Yeah, of course.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But and I'm drinking Ava Grace Red Blend.
Heyo.
So wine for me today.
Wine and cheese.
Wine and cheese. It.
Wine
Oh,
and
plastic.
cheese.
Out of
If you like the
plastic.
parkour
Fancy.
Jimmy
and you
Buffett
like killing
glass.
zombies, Dying Light.
Oh,
I don't like killing
She doesn't
zombies.
like killing zombies.
I'm not a zombie
She doesn't
person.
like being around zombies, period.
I don't.
Whatsoever.
She's gonna do well in the apocalypse because she'll be like, "Get the fuck away from me!"
Yeah,
She's, like, murder
seriously.
all
I'll
the
be like,
others,
I'm
so-
so fucking over
Yeah,
you.
you guys-
Just
Well, to be
get
fair,
away.
she'll just treat them like people and avoid them and kill them immediately if,
Oh,
if they get too close
that's
to her.
fair.
So.
And they're like way easier to kill than like regular people.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Because I can just shoot them in the head with like zero
Yeah,
consequences.
It's a lot slower.
They don't have rights.
When I normally
yet.
shoot people in the head, there's like many consequences.
Yeah, the family's upset. And
I mean,
you know,
she's lucky she's a white female because
Right.
she gets off every single
Oh,
Yeah,
time.
you
but-
cry, and then it's that's like
Yeah. Or just say, like, I didn't do it,
A
obviously.
little nip slip.
yeah, a little. Oh, whoops.
Wow. Jeez.
I mean, I cry.
Yeah, the crying lubricates the shirt.
I don't know which
causes-
is more misogynistic, but anyway.
I don't know. Yeah.
Let's move on.
Anyway, let's go to commercial.
Wait, no, we have a.
Oh,
Shut
sorry.
up! We have a word of the day.
Who's getting it wrong now?
I don't know. Getting what wrong?
She's like, we have a word of the day.
Oh yeah, we have a
GameRage, Gaming Dictionary word of the week,
Ba, ba, ba.
inspired by Hop,
nice,
which is.
which is bully bashing.
Oh, is that what the one? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll do the other one next time.
No, I couldn't. I honestly.
Oh
couldn't
yeah, yeah.
remember.
No, that was
I'm
it.
sorry.
Yeah, bully bashing. So bully bashing is when you go back to an early part of a game when you were very low level.
You sucked ass.
Yeah, and you couldn't fight like fucking rats.
The
Like, you
rats,
couldn't
yeah.
beat the rats. They were a challenge. But you go back
Or boar.
after you're like powered up. Yeah, the boar, the rats, the bats, all the mammals.
Boar,
I
if
just
you're
hate
playing
mammals
a
in video
super
games.
lame.
Yeah.
That's true. Like
I don't know
small
what it is.
mammals,
Small mammals.
rodents,
Rodents.
sometimes.
Never. Well, sometimes dogs, but not often dogs. Never cats. Anyway, so you go
That's
back
Cats are,
why
to
never,
cats
cats are
are
never
the
a threat.
shit.
No, cats are
cats.
never a threat. Period.
That's actually
Doesn't
that's a
matter
good
how
point. They're
low
just-
level.
Right. You can always trounce a cat. So you go back
Unless
and
it's a Far Cry Primal Cat.
yeah, no, like big cats,
They
No.
they eat faces.
lots of them. So you go back and you just thrash the enemies that gave you so much trouble early on, just as like a big fuck you, like remember me, fuck you kind
Yeah.
of thing. And that's when you go back and you bash your bullies. So you're bully bashing.
I love doing that. Like there's
Yeah.
so many times where like, I'll play a game, and specifically, like I have no reason, like especially for like RPGs like Skyrim or Fallout, where like I specifically go back to that beginning place, and it's like, hey, remember me?
Yeah.
Fuck you, and just like obliterate them in one go. Like I just watch
Yeah.
them like those rats or whatever you had to like.
Yep.
You took like 10 swings of your sword, and now you like one hit, and they're like a fine miss.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like
oh,
that's all
nothing
that's
left
left of this.
Yeah.
They're
Fuck
literally
you.
just
Yeah.
flying
Fuck
into
you.
the
You're
sunset.
getting no experience out of it. You're getting nothing but just like pure
just
self-satisfaction.
revenge.
I love that.
I
shit.
specifically remember like the first example I've ever seen of this was in EverQuest, like way back, like PS2, early MMO era. There were like these camps of orcs in the desert, which now that I think about it is maybe a little bit of an allegory. It's just like these like tribal orcs living in the desert, and you would just go fuck their shit up, and
Yeah.
it was like, that's not
messed
good.
up.
Yeah, right.
Murder.
But their names were Death Fist orcs, so it was okay.
Oh, it's
they're
fine,
bad
it's
people.
fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're terrorists.
So-
They probably flew a plane into some
Exactly,
building at
something
some
or
point
other.
in time.
Yeah.
And so I
So
remember
you went and fisted the
I
orcs.
was fisting them to death.
I'll show you a death fist, motherfucker.
Death fist this. And like I remember going there. Actually, I was still low level. Like I was
Sounds
still.
like a really hardcore porn.
Oh, it is.
Death
I mean,
fist.
it
Death
was.
fist.
I mean, it wasn't. I wasn't even like a high enough level to like beat them yet. But I remember like running by the camp and seeing this like barbarian character in there who wasn't even wearing any armor. Dude was basically in his underwear, just running around. Just kicking them all in the chest to death. Like it was so badass. Like he clearly did not need any help. There was like 15 of them like running around the camp after him, and he was just like, yeah, and just like all of them just like flying like out of the camp. And there was no one like with him. He was just doing it to be like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Like, and
That's like
yeah.
a Mega Man X-Zero moment.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I want to be like you.
Teach me. Yeah.
The thing that's cool about bully bashing though is that like you can I think it can come from like upgrading yourself and also gaining just more experience though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it necessarily has to come from just like upgrading your character or getting more shit.
Right.
It could just come from you getting better at the game.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's not a thing where like it used to take you, 10 whacks with your sword, then you get a better sword and you come back and you fucking obliterate shit.
Yeah.
It could just come from like if something that you had no idea how to beat, and then you go through and you're like, oh, okay, this is fucking easy.
Right.
And then you just go and you like ground stomp or something and you're like,
It
fuck
could
you.
be.
Like,
It could take the same amount of sword swings, but you're just better at dodging now. So the first
Yeah.
time you got fucking punched in the face 50 times, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, man, fuck you. But this time you're on fucking touchable because
Right.
you move. Like, so yeah, it
Yeah.
could be that too. It's
Yeah.
kind of like an allegory for life, where like
Weird.
you get better at things as you
go back to
and
second grade and you
sometimes-
beat up all the kids because
Yeah.
when you were there you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I frequently go back to
man.
my high school grounds and just
Yeah.
like punch a high schooler in
Yeah.
the face.
They didn't do shit about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I go to those little kids and I like hold them down and I
Yeah.
fart in their face.
Yeah, take their
Yeah.
lunches,
Yeah,
their lunchables,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah,
You know,
'cause
that
fuck these
actually-
bullies.
Remember me?
We're the
No,
good
fuck
guys,
you.
right?
I don't- yeah, I think so.
In Mirror's Edge, actually, there were like a few like because they're mostly like melee attacks that you can do. You don't really carry a weapon until later.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
you just have to like, but you're supposed to use the environment to fight.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I was like really struggling with that.
Just like
I
Captain
would,
Planet.
yeah, Enviromite. I would just go up and like just punch and like kick just from where I was standing.
Right.
Because I hadn't really figured out yet how to utilize the environment. But
Yeah.
now I can like, you go and you do like a wall run, so you get some height, and then you just slam down on them or something.
Yeah.
So your attacks and your hits end up being stronger.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
But so there's higher level of like melee. So there's guys with like no armor at all,
yeah.
and then there's people that have armor and night sticks and stuff that are
Just
trying to attack.
sticks.
Just random
where
wood
they find
sticks
on
from
the
the ground.
sidewalk.
Yeah, but it feels good to like to gain that experience and then go back even to a lower level, enemy and just like kick the shit out of them with
dance
one.
circles around
Yeah,
them.
you just like you end up. So what I would do is like shoot my grappling hook up to the very top of a building and then just like slam down. I'd be like, bitch! Like,
That is fine.
yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
It feels good.
Yeah.
Mountain versus Oberyn at that point.
Oh God, yeah, crushing
Ooh.
those heads.
Ooh, yeah. No, that's it's been years and that's still too fresh for me.
Oh,
now.
it hurts.
Too
It
soon.
hurts. It's just like I told you I watched that clip of Glenn.
Oh, really?
I did. I watched it out of context because
did.
I wasn't even watching the show anymore at that point. But it was.
Yeah, I
It
wasn't
haunts me
either.
now to this day. It is
wow.
horrific.
The comic is worse.
I can only
I
imagine.
think I should. Maybe I didn't show you.
I don't think so, but it's
Yeah.
so fucking sad.
My favorite character, man. So it was hard to read it after that.
I can
did.
imagine. Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude.
So dead. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Anyway,
like his brain's all over
like
the place.
really fucking.
Like it's way more brutal in the comics. Anyway.
I
right.
should
Moving
watch
on.
Death
Happy
Note.
things. What?
Oh yeah, Death Note. If you haven't seen Death Note, watch Death Note.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of
Yeah, Liz
characters
is
you
in,
love
like, a-
dying. Anyway,
right.
let's
Like
let's
catatonic.
get to
We're
it,
fine.
right?
Yeah,
so
do it
topic
to it.
time.
Topic time.
What is our topic again?
Topic time.
Hey, that's our
Saving
new topic
checkpoints.
intro. So today,
Shit, Charizard.
aside from all the other things that we've been talking about, we are going to be talking about saving your game, which is not only an important thing to do, but it's evolved a lot over the years. The way that it happens and
It's
the way
the
that you do it.
brushing your teeth of gaming.
It is.
Do it frequently,
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't do it, then you're fucked.
Yeah,
Gargle before you spit into the cartridge.
Yeah.
and I think we also pepper
keeps
in
you
a
fresh.
little checked points in there.
Little checkpoint action.
Checkering in some points.
Check some points in there.
So
Yeah.
save
that's-
slash
Or
checked
not
points.
saving, and how that can be dangerous.
That's true. Oh my God.
You better
Oh.
save, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude.
So
Yeah.
take it away.
So,
We
we were thinking recently. Actually, a friend of mine who is probably listening to this right now, Carlos. You're out there, buddy.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Carlos.
Carlos.
Carlosians.
we love
Carl's
you.
bad.
Carl?
Carl's good. Carl.
Carl's. Carl.
This is for you, bud.
Carl.
He
Carl,
he
like
recommended.
from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah. Get off of my lawn,
Carl. Anyway, sorry. I'm
fine.
super sorry, Carl.
We're all already drunk if
Yeah.
you can't tell.
Yeah, a little bit.
So here we
It
go.
works fast. Yeah, Carlos mentioned that
Especially if
we should
you've
do-
been drinking for the hour before we
I
started
was
recording.
at Gasparilla. No, 3 hours.
Yeah, that's
I've
true.
been drinking since 1.
Been
So
drinking since 10 a.m.
this
when
is
I woke
actually
up
probably
this
like
morning.
the least
And
alcoholic
girl
thing
is
I've
wanna
had.
scream.
I had my Cheerios with whiskey this morning.
Yeah. Ooh. That sounds good.
No, you didn't. Did you?
Yeah,
know
no,
that.
I'm joking,
He's
obviously,
being me.
but
That was like a serious question, though. Like, I didn't watch you eat breakfast. That's
sure.
a very serious
Yeah.
possibility.
I had oatmeal.
His
you know
driving
it.
was
Anyway.
a little. Yeah, you could probably do oatmeal with whiskey. Anyway. So Carlos mentioned that we should do an episode about checkpoints because checkpoints are like a real fucking tough thing in games. Like they don't always do well. We were talking about Grow Home last time. Had shitball checkpoints. They
Yeah.
were
Did.
terrible.
Yes.
Some games do them really, really well to the point where you die and you're like, oh fuck, I haven't saved in a while. How far back am I gonna go?
Yeah.
And it's like maybe 2 enemies before. It's really not
Yeah.
like that terrible. And you know, you could argue like, oh well, that makes it too easy or whatever. But you know, it kind of depends on the game. It kind of
Yeah.
depends on how much shit
That's
you
true.
have to do in between the checkpoints. You know,
Like as much as it's grown as a medium in terms of gaming, like, and sometimes some games have taken like a certain path, and sometimes have taken like the complete other. But like
Yeah.
it really varies, and I agree with you. I think it depends on the gameplay. Like,
Yeah.
how is this gonna have save points versus / checkpoints?
Yeah.
What's the system gonna be for this game, and how is it gonna affect the gameplay?
especially depending on whether or not the game has hard saves, because some newer
Yeah.
games don't have hard saves.
Yeah. That's
true.
And like if they have bad checkpoints, you're just fucked. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just have to go back to whatever
Yeah.
point you're at.
Ultimately, I think it's just the point is that it's not the same across the board. Like it's just
Yeah.
going to vary depending on what the game is, what the game style is, what the gameplay is,
Right.
and what if they're using one, the other, or a combination of the two.
Right.
Sometimes it works,
Right.
sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really bad. But anyway,
Yeah.
go on.
No, that- yeah.
So go ahead. Yeah.
So yeah, like checkpoints are an important part of saving, because if you're not saving regularly, which it's funny, I don't. Okay, I'm curious to know how you guys do this, because I know that for me, when there are hard saves in a game, I save a lot, like a lot,
Yeah.
but I tend to keep like 3 saves, like 3 save points, unless I make a 4th one by accident. And I'm like, just keep it for safety.
Yeah.
I'd have a 4th one.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes you don't know what decisions aren't going to be reversible. Like
That is so
you
funny.
know,
We
yeah.
do 3 too.
Yeah, see,
And
yeah.
then when
Yeah,
you
it's
new
funny.
save,
Yeah.
you use the oldest
Y-
save
yeah,
file.
you just
You
go
just
do-do-do,
rotate.
course.
save,
You're
do-do-do,
right.
save, yeah.
I'm a
Which-
rebel
this is
without
a-
a cause, man.
Oh Jesus, what do you do?
Uno.
What the
you
fuck?
fucking madman,
Chris, I'm gonna tell you why you're an idiot, but we can wait for it. So please, Ev, please
well,
go on.
Yeah, so
You're insane. You're an insane person.
we know that Chris likes everything to be as hard as it possibly can.
Yeah, Chris likes restarting games.
Yeah, that's
no.
true.
I'm sorry. No.
I mean, what happens if it gets corrupted?
Ooh, oh, I know
Okay,
that. all
we'll
too
get
well.
to that.
Yeah,
Chris also likes playing games 30 seconds at a time.
that's true.
So-
I'm
yeah.
sorry, this is just
I
blowing
didn't
my
like
mind.
doing that.
I'm really
He very
scared for
specifically-
Chris's life.
Oh, I know.
No,
I
it's
know.
fine. Chris
Yeah.
makes his own decisions. He's standing on the fucking precipice of a cliff.
I'm saying.
let
'cause
him
it's
do. Let him
like-
do him.
I have so many save files when I
Yeah,
play
please.
because like
Yeah.
it's just like you don't know what you can't undo. Sometimes, for instance, like Infamous, you're like, I choose the people hanging from the building on the right. It's like, your girlfriend died, and your dog was in there, and now he stole your best friend, and they're getting married and moving to Vegas. And you're like,
I
fuck,
choose
I want to do it again. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Nope.
Nope.
Shut up,
He
Chris.
says nope.
I don't want to hear how wrong you are. Yeah.
Chris
So
makes
save it.
decisions and he lives with them like a man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
To be fair,
sometimes-
there are games where I try to like.
That's
I'm
the
like,
whole
all right,
point that they give you the decisions.
Well,
If
but
it's
see-
like,
Chris, I swear to God. Stop. Because I cannot afford to be too angry right now.
His
Just
heart
let
rate
Ev talk.
will go through the roof.
I will murder
man.
you later.
he's going to
Dan's
explode.
cholesterol is already very high.
My blood pressure is through the roof right now.
Yeah, my Chris tolerance.
I just
is,
can't.
Is
I
bumping the
can't.
ceiling. No,
I can't.
Chris
even.
tolerance.
Chris tolerance.
it's a whole
How
other
long you can
bonus
hear
word.
Chris saying things that anger me.
When Chris says something that infuriates you, but
When-
you hold your tongue.
When Chris talks for more than 5 seconds.
Oh God,
Anyway, I'm just kidding,
Aw,
Chris.
okay, anyway.
we
Ev.
love when Chris talks.
Yeah, we do.
Maybe
But
they do.
I'm questioning that.
Right.
Oh no, Chris, we
This is
do.
going
Chris,
on
I
his
love
list
you.
that
It's
he's
just
making.
you're wrong this
we love
time.
you.
And I
It's
don't.
okay.
I don't have the
Okay.
patience to tell you how wrong you are just at this
Aw.
moment.
Because there are games that don't have the hard saves, and you
Mm-hmm.
just have the checkpoint, and that's something we were talking about a little bit. What you hear about next episode when you get stuck with a situation like that.
Yeah.
I realized why that would have made more sense to talk
Oh,
about this.
yeah.
Anyway,
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
yeah. Next week's word of the week, you'll see.
Next week.
Just tune in.
If we remember it.
Yeah. Ooh.
Did somebody write it down? Probably
Yeah,
not.
totally. In my head.
Damn it, Charizard.
But yeah, some games they don't, they don't have like hard saves, so you're just stuck with whatever you get. And it's not so bad in the sense that like you might be stuck in a place you can't get past, but like you might just keep getting thrown back, especially for fuck's sake when there's a cutscene before like
Oh
a
my
thing that you're trying to
God.
do, and you die, and you have no choice but to rewatch the entire cutscene every
Yes,
It's the
fucking
worst.
especially the
Worst.
unskippable ones.
Oh
The
my
unskippable
God.
ones are the worst. Oh my god.
my
I
God.
know there's a recent example, but I can't think of one. But yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a
It's
really
so bad because
Or-
it's like I'm like I think we all agree because we like stories in games, so we're all okay with watching a cutscene the first time.
Sure.
But like
First time.
when they put it right before a hard moment, or there's a game that you're replaying and there's something like specific you have to do, maybe for a trophy or maybe some other achievement or something to unlock something, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So there's something specific you have to do in order to like get that, and then they decide to put a fucking 6-minute long cutscene before that. Like don't get me wrong, we're all fairly patient for gamers.
Yeah.
Of this generation. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that. Like,
Well,
I'm not trying to trash
outright.
the gamers, but
Sure.
like, I know our friend David like has no patience for cutscenes.
Just walk out of the room.
whatsoever. Like the first
it's
time.
because we appreciate the art. So
Right.
we're like, okay, a lot of stuff went into this,
Yeah.
and we were fine watching it the first time, but not the 100th
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like,
It's so annoying every single time after that, where it's like, I can't skip this. Oh my god, just let me do this little thing that I need to do to succeed or get what I want to get, and like, but instead you're gonna make me watch this every single time.
Every
It sucks.
fucking
Or if it's a
time.
difficult boss battle, like,
Yeah,
that
that's
sucks too.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of. There's like the little encounter before the fight, and it's like I already know.
I know.
What is it?
Hotline Miami, the first one.
Oh.
The boss near the end. Near the end of the first game, where you have to like
Yeah.
kill the Russian mob boss's like son, or no,
Oh.
the Russian mob boss. It's
Right.
him.
Yeah,
Never mind. I'm
it's
thinking.
him.
And like every single time you die, you have to like start it all over, and you have to like walk up and go through all the dialogue, and then
Oh
do it.
yeah, with the
Right.
cats in the room.
Maybe
yeah.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, I
The
remember that one.
Panthers.
Yeah,
but the
Panthers,
thing,
that's what it
okay,
was.
but the thing is that that's something that you can like, you can at least
Oh,
get through the
that's true.
dialogue quickly.
You can
You
like,
click
tap
through
to
it
go.
quickly.
You
Yeah.
can click
Oh,
through
yeah.
it quickly.
You still wish the checkpoint was after all that
Yeah.
shit, but even still, yeah, you can get through it pretty
Especially
quickly.
with a
but
game that you
sometimes-
respawn so quickly normally. You're right back into the
Yeah,
action
you
every
do.
time.
Yeah.
Until,
But and I think that,
Yeah.
but that's kind of the thing. Like, it's such there's such a distinction because of the fact that like normally you can just like jump right back into it. So this time you have to like go and you have
yeah.
to tap X a bunch of times before
Yeah.
you okay now I'm starting, and let me go, and then if
Yeah.
you die immediately, then it's like, oh, okay, let me
know
fucking
what?
do this again.
Or sometimes it's at the end where like in Uncharted 4, and I don't know if this is the same for the other ones, but like when you die, it doesn't necessarily take you a long time to get into the next one, but it takes you forever to die. Like when you fall off a cliff, and then it does the black and white
Yeah.
thing, and she's like, Nate!
Yeah.
Or you're Sully, and it's like, oh,
Oh,
Nate.
Nate. Yeah, he
No.
has like the most disaffected.
Just kidding.
Like,
that was only
yeah.
from the first game.
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah,
I told
which
Liz
is really
about that.
cool.
I
But
was
like it just
oh,
doesn't like,
Nate,
and then
damn,
you
no.
like respawn or whatever, and and then you can do it again. But if you die, then you're like, well, shit. Now I
Yeah.
gotta wait
Just
another
go eat
20
lunch
fucking
while I
minutes.
wait. Yeah.
like,
Speaking of another game that I did kind of start playing, but not really, haven't gotten into it. Batman, the Telltale
Oh,
Batman
haven't
game.
finished it.
Carmine,
Ooh.
I know you did. Carmine Falcone, voiced by the
Oh.
same guy who does Sully's voice. Interestingly,
Oh
enough.
shit.
Like I was like playing the game. Just I had my headphones on. I was playing it, and I was like, Liz, listen to this. And I took it off, and she's like, that's Sully. I was like, yeah.
Fucking A.
Like we both
Yeah.
immediately recognized that I was Sully. Anyway,
Sullivan.
moving on. Just wanted a quick side note. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I guess the only thing I specifically was going to say about this was that one of my favorite save things from gaming history. Well, okay, I mentioned this because I mentioned this to the group before. Something I thought of recently that I thought was kind of interesting is that games kind of went through like this evolution of saving where originally they didn't really have save points. Sometimes there were like checkpoints you would hit, like in fucking Toy Story or whatever, but it was basically just
Yeah.
like the one file unless you were playing on a different like name, file. So you had like your one save file. And then it went to the point where it was mostly hard saves. You had to like go in and hit save game and whatever. Then it went around to like, a lot of like autosave type games. Then they added like some quick saving, which I remember you were talking about on PC, but I remember seeing it in Portal on PS3.
Portal, yeah.
You could just hold start, I think, to quick save.
Most
which
likely
was-
because it started on PC.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
But-
that was super useful because you would get through part of a puzzle and you didn't want to redo the entire fucking puzzle, so you could quick save before you jumped over something, deadly.
Risky.
Yeah,
very
risky,
useful.
whatever. And then when you died, inevitably, you would just start right back there.
Yeah.
And now, I thought I knocked it over. Oh my god. Now there is a mix. Like we were saying, there's usually checkpoints and save.
Yeah.
Hard saves.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the only thing I was going to mention was that my favorite. We've talked about this a few times. My favorite save thing from any game is No More Heroes, because
Yeah.
Travis touchdown before a boss fight. Every boss fight. You get like a phone call, and
Super cool phone
yeah,
call too.
and it's like through the controller because it was on the Wii originally.
Yeah, I think we talked about that
Yeah,
before, but yeah. It's
and like
super
you're
cool.
walking in the hallway, and he takes his phone call, and then he at the end of the hallway, no matter where you are in this boss fight.
There's the boss door,
Yeah.
and then
There's a bathroom like right before, which is so funny because like it kind of makes sense in a way. It's like if you're about to do something that's really long, it's like I better pee first. So he walks in and like but he unzips his pants and like throws him down and sits on the toilet, and toilet paper like rolls across him so you can't see his dick and balls.
Yeah.
And he just says in like. And it just says like save yes no and you save and then he like, gets up and does it all back up and you go fight the boss.
I appreciate
every
it.
single boss fight. I thought that was so funny.
That
Yeah.
is
It's just
funny.
very
It is
human.
great.
Like
Let's just take a shit before the boss fight.
Yeah.
it's
And I
very
appreciate
realistic.
that they kind of, and spoilers, I guess.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that they kind of like repurposed it at the very end because like at the very end, like you finish the game and then Travis like in a cutscene like walks into the bathroom, like sits down, is taking a shit, and then all of a sudden like this guy like bursts into the bathroom. He's like, and he's all ready to fuck you up, and you're
Yeah.
like, whoa, shit! Like you're just on the toilet, and then it turns into a whole fight.
yeah.
But like
You
they
think you're
kind
safe.
of they reused it, like it's like, oh, they get the end of the game. Oh, look, he's taking a shit, and all of a sudden some guy bursts in. When you think you're the most safe because
Right.
the rest of the game establishes that as the save point. So you're
Oh my
safe.
god.
So like that's the
Yeah.
save time, and then all of a sudden this guy bursts
That's
in.
Rip you right.
smart.
Right.
That's fun.
That's really smart.
Yeah. I won't say who it is that bursts
Yeah.
in or how that goes, but
Forgot
like,
about that guy.
but it is funny. I
That
thought
is
that was
funny.
good.
Because not a lot of games really have a thing that goes with saving. You just save. You hit save, or you're in a room. There's like a room you go in, maybe, but it's not
Yeah.
like a whole save animation where it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. I do love
Yeah.
that. Just like, I love unusual saves like
Yeah.
that. Like they find this like weird reason for the character to like take a reprieve from
Right.
everything that's going on.
yeah. They work it into the world rather than being like
Yeah.
a big just save box.
Do I have blood on my face?
Don't you
all
usually?
over.
Yeah.
So
I killed a man earlier.
Yeah. Oh right.
I just-
Didn't get it all.
Just wanted to make sure.
so yeah, I think I guess if so I think it is really it's really important the way they integrate saving and checkpoints into games, and sometimes they kind of like work off of each other. Sometimes games like you save and the save will only take you back to the most recent checkpoint.
Oh right. Yeah.
And sometimes like I think the quick save or the basically save exactly in the position that I'm in right now could sometimes make the game a little easier. It can be like essentially taken advantage of because like say if theoretically you could save so constantly that you take any challenge out of anything.
Yeah.
For instance, say you were playing Doom 3.
Ah.
And every enemy that you had came across, you could save literally at every point, every 30 seconds or so. So if there was an enemy shooting at you, you could react. If
I'm feeling very personally attacked.
you could react in a way that like this enemy shoots at you and you know it's about to shoot at you, so you save. And then it shoots at you and you get hit. Oh, let me just load the most recent quick save. And move instead of getting hit. So you could literally like it's almost like if anybody who's played games on emulators, like original NES games or anything like that on emulators, the difficulty curve was very specifically set in those games. And I'm just kidding, Chris. I'm not accusing you of doing that. I'm not accusing you of doing that. I'm sure you played it, but at the same time, like to some extent, it makes it easier sometimes because of that. But emulated games. So we all remember playing games on NES and Sega and Super NES, and they had life systems. You play, you get to a certain point, you die, maybe you have to go back to the beginning of the level, or let's take Sonic, for instance. You have to go back at least to the
turnstile thing.
Yeah, little turnstile thing,
Flag.
whatever
I
it
don't know what
was.
it is.
Or if you're playing Mario, let's say Super Mario World, you get to that like halfway checkpoint thing where you go. It's like the weird like pole and
Yeah, I
you run
don't-
through it. Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't
It's
know
a
what that was
flag.
supposed to be.
No,
In
no,
Mario?
it's not a flag.
No,
at
that's
the
at
end.
Yeah.
No,
But
no,
No,
no.
I know, but it's a flag in the middle.
No, it's not. It's not a flag. It's like the two poles, and then you run through the little
It
like.
depends on
Oh,
Mario.
okay, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking
And
about.
actually,
No, I know what you're
the Super
talking
Mario World is what I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah.
So like,
yeah.
and at the very end, it's just like a big version of that with the thing moving up and down, and then you have to. But whatever.
Yeah.
Like the small version, you just kind of run through it. If you're regular Mario, then you get turned into Super Mario.
Oh yeah.
But like that's the checkpoint system there. So if you die, you get at least taken to there, If you haven't reached there yet, you get taken back to the beginning of the level.
Mm-hmm.
However, and so like you have to be careful with every move you take. The platforming is more difficult because like let's say we all remember those like parts where it was like really hard, where literally you had to jump and land on this tiny platform and then land on the next tiny platform and then land, go the rest of the way. But if you ran up and save state is what it was called for emulators. You could save state, which is something that you couldn't do in the original game, but you could save your state so that literally you could like, if you miss the jump, then you could just save, you can load immediately from the moment before and just jump again. And when you make it, and you don't have to worry about losing any lives. So you could literally play the entire game with quote unquote never losing a life, quote unquote never losing health, anything, never getting hit.
Right.
Which is essentially the advantage it gives you when you play newer games that have that like save right now.
Right. Save right here.
Exactly in this moment. When you load, you'll be standing exactly where you are, looking in the same direction. Everything. Like nothing has changed.
Wearing the same
You're
pants.
not going back to the most recent checkpoint. You're just saving. You're just loading from right here.
Right.
So things like that end up, I think in some way can make it easier. I think I agree that it lends itself to that game because like Portal, there's not a lot of ways you could like take advantage of that to make the puzzle easier because it's a puzzle based game. So you have to figure it out. You have to think and things like that. So there's not a lot of ways you can take advantage of that. But certain games that are like you're fighting against enemies, you could literally save so often that you can never get hit because you always do something like you play a little bit and then you do something different. And I think this is kind of what Chris was talking about. Because certain games like Telltale games, like The Walking Dead, the way I played that was very different than most games because, yes, you could save at certain checkpoints and you could make a decision. And if you, quote unquote, feel you made the wrong decision, you could load and remake your decision. And that very clearly is one of those games that, like, you don't save, the game chooses when you save.
Yeah.
So as you progress, and, like, I made the very distinct choice in that game almost differently than some other games. Sometimes I will reload because I want to have that best ending, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And in that game, I was like, no, let me not do that because it's going to cheapen the experience of the game. Let me just make the decisions that make sense to me at the moment, and I'll go with them. So,
okay, Chris.
Yeah, right. Fuck me, crass ass motherfucker. So sometimes that's the best way to go. It's going to add to your experience. So I did that with Walking Dead. I made sure like every decision I made, I stuck by. And it made for a more meaningful experience and everything like that. However, there are games, and I will say, that suffer from that. And it's games that unfortunately might have some glitches. Assassin's Creed. I don't remember exactly when it was. I think it was... It was one of the Ezio series, so it was before Assassin's Creed 3. I want to say it was Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't think it was Brotherhood. I'm pretty sure it was Revelations. So, but I remember playing through it, and Assassin's Creed doesn't have save points. You don't pick a save, because I agree with you. Many times when you have the option to save, you have to have multiple save files.
Yeah.
Not so you can go back and make a different decision, but just as a safeguard. Because sometimes if something fucks up or goes wrong in this game, you can at least load back to another one.
Yeah.
And like you said, sometimes you literally need a fourth one. So you save at a point where you know is safe, and that is your fourth save point, and then you continue to save on the initial 3 save
it's
points.
Like an old,
that way if something goes wrong, it's like, oh, fuck, these 3 are fucked, but at least I have to go back a few hours, but at least I don't have to start from the beginning. And that's the safe way to go. That is the recommended way to save. We
GameRage approved.
We came up with something last time we were talking about and we forgot to do.
Oh.
Where it was going to be like a teaching thing. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's
here's your
right.
lesson for the day.
Yeah.
If you can save multiple times, keep multiple saves.
Yeah.
Because things might happen, like what I'm about to say, where Assassin's Creed is a game where you cannot save individual files. You just go based on the autosave. So I played through, I got a few hours into the game, and then I got to the one certain point, and some glitch happened. Like, where I, like, glitched into a rock or something like that. Something happened where I glitched into, like, part of the landscape.
That was just him blending in, being an assassin.
Yeah, that partly what it is, but unfortunately it killed me every single time.
It was Ezio.
Yeah.
Because you can't, apparently you can't live inside of a rock. You'll die.
Unless you're
What?
selfish. Yeah.
However, The autosave happened literally.
Exactly why I never played Assassin's Creed.
Because I'm afraid of rocks. It's a fact.
Autosave literally happened right before that. So I die and then I respawn and then I end up in the same position. I'm dead again. If I try to load the game, respawn, load in the exact same place. So I literally could not progress at all. I was fucked. Like there was nothing I could do because that was the only autosave.
Damn.
Yeah, it's really shitty programming on that part.
Seriously.
It was shitty programming, which is why I think in games that have autosaves, they should, and I've seen like 1 or 2 games do this, but it's very rare, they should have like an emergency save where even though you're autosaving, they keep one previous save, at least one previous save that you can load to in case of something like this. Because you're fucked.
Yeah.
You have to start all over.
You might not.
I was lucky enough because at the time I had PlayStation Plus.
Okay.
And my PlayStation Plus had auto uploaded the most recent save to the cloud or whatever you want to call it, to this online storage. So I went back, loaded that one, and it was before the previous save, so I was able to save the game. I didn't have to start all over. It was pretty close because it was an auto. It was the last most recent auto save.
okay.
Got it.
So I was lucky. But if it had been, or at the very least, it was like less than a day's worth of progress because I had played for a day.
Yeah.
And that happened. But if that hadn't happened, I would have had to start from the very fucking beginning, which would have blown. Like,
Yeah.
I remember fucking maybe not a great game, but I had fun with it, and I know you recommended it. Mark Echo's fucking Getting Up.
No shit.
Getting Up.
I think
Remember that?
we are like 2 of 3 people that ever played that game. I
Yeah,
fucking
very
love that
few
game.
people played that game.
Yeah.
It was a game where you're playing as a graffiti artist and you're tagging things. It was entertaining, even though it was like
Made
sponsored
by a clothing company.
Echo. But I remember there was a level that I played, and I got to a certain point, and the game somehow glitched, and I could not beat the level, but I also could not load from the beginning. So that was it. I would have had to start all over, and I put down the game. I didn't
Echo.
feel like playing through hours of what I had already played.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Yeah. It can be game breaking. Really can.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
that
can.
rhino.
Yeah.
And even if it's a good game, if you have to replay
recommend
all
that.
of it again,
Don't fuck rhinos.
Yeah, don't.
it's not fun.
Yeah. It wouldn't be. No. Because it's not even like, doing it again for fun. You're just like, all right, let me slog back through all this shit. It was like when David's Infamous file got deleted, and he played through it on easy to get back to where he was, and then he just kept playing on easy.
Yeah, and then he kept playing on easy, and then he played every other game on easy.
Every game ever.
Yeah. I thought it was Bioshock.
Maybe it was. I
think
thought
it
it was
was
Infamous for
Bioshock.
some reason. Yeah.
But then he started playing, and then he played Uncharted on easy, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Why don't I? It's so much easier to play."
Well, yeah.
It's like, yeah,
That
it
is
is,
true.
and that's David for us. But anyway, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I know I went on for a long time.
No,
but
yeah.
I was just.
You
had
guys
a
have
few
any
things.
thoughts on saving?
I just want to piggyback on that real quick. As far as autosaving goes, I think the Arkham series did a fantastic job because whenever it autosaves, obviously it doesn't stop the gameplay. You just see the little symbol in the screen, but it never saves you at the exact position that you're at. It saves like the state of the area. And it just, if you happen to die or you quit and reload, you just spawn somewhere nearby.
Yeah,
There's spawn
cool.
points all over the city.
It's the most recent checkpoint
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's very well done in my opinion.
And is
Yeah.
it like, say you're in one area and you die repeatedly, do you always spawn in the same building or whatever, or is it just like just somewhere nearby randomly?
If you keep dying in the same spot, you will
okay.
spawn in the same area.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's
Because
cool.
the spawn points themselves are set.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But it's still pretty seamless. 'cause
Yeah,
you're
but
not, like-
but there are so many of them that, if you just die in like the next building over, it
Yeah.
might spawn you somewhere else, but still close enough
Right.
that you're back to where you were within 5 seconds.
That's cool.
Because he flies very fast.
He falls with style.
Yes. Okay.
It's true.
Okay. I have several stories, but I'm gonna go with a very, very, very sad one.
Oh, good.
Great. I love being
This
depressed.
is
stories.
Skyrim. Actually, this is one of the first times I'm playing Skyrim on the PC, and I'm getting used to the quick save fashion. Now in Skyrim they have auto saving. They excuse me. Anytime you enter into a dungeon or enter into a building or fast travel, it always auto saves. So the good news is there's always something to go back to automatically in case there's an issue.
That's good.
I got used to the quick saving, and I would be quick saving occasionally. But the catch with quick saving is it always overwrites itself. If you
Right.
press the quick save button, it's going to overwrite whatever your old quick save was. So if I'm relying on that for, let's say, 40 minutes, and then I accidentally quick save literally a split second before I'm about to die, as soon as I die and it reloads,
Yeah.
as soon as the load screen ends, I'm already dead.
Oh my
course.
god.
I basically saved while I was dead.
There should be a word for that.
Yeah.
We'll have to think of something.
If only.
We'll have to talk that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That sucks.
I dealt with it.
Yeah. Some
I
therapy
just
sessions.
And then what happened when you dealt? When you say you dealt
Oh,
with
yeah.
it, you had to start.
I
all
lost
over?
40 minutes.
Oh well, okay.
Oh.
That's
Because
still,
the
though.
game auto saved,
Right.
but it
Oh.
had been 40 minutes since because I've been relying on the quick save so
Yeah.
much.
Oh,
See, that's
yeah,
another
yeah.
thing though. If the autosave isn't soon enough, or if
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
it's a exclusively save only game system, and then you forget,
Ugh.
then you're
Yep.
fucked.
Not
There was
recommended.
somebody I want to say it was David who like started a game and started playing through and made a good way in, and then he quit.
Yeah.
And then he started up, and there was no save because there was no autosave
was
in the game. He's
purely-
like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, it's an autosave game. It
Yeah.
it told you be careful to save. Make sure you're saving
Right.
a game because there's no autosaving.
Yeah.
But even still, like, you have to be careful about shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, many of the excuse me, new AAA games they'll auto save automatically
Oh, yeah.
as you're playing through, which is very nice. It actually cuts down on these glitches
Yeah,
and
it can.
throwing controllers through your TV kind of business.
Unless your system happens to crash for some
Oh.
reason, because sometimes that still
Oh,
happens.
corrupting the
Outage or
data.
While it's
that.
auto saving and then corrupts your save and you're fucked.
Yeah.
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 Again, back to the beginning. That's why I still prefer the option to save. Auto saves are good because sometimes if a game crashes, you can at least load that most recent autosave. But
Yeah.
if it crashes, and you're only relying on autosaves and it happens to corrupt that save, then you're fucked. You gotta start all
Yeah.
over.
Well, that's why with you were playing even as good as the game was for me, and as good of an experience as I had with it. You had an incident with the fractured butthole, right? Where like it was not auto saving, and it kept telling you to do something.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot.
Huh.
I was going through. I just finished the Raisins quest. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty early on in the game, so you go to Raisins and you have to fight
Hi,
them.
welcome to Raisins.
You have to save. You have to save Mosquito. So
Hi,
you save
sweetie.
him,
Right.
and I walked out of there and it didn't give me an option to save.
Huh.
I tried to save manually, but it didn't give me an option. So I was like, must be auto saving. Okay, fine. So I kept playing. I played for another it wasn't a lot of time. It was probably like 20 to 30 minutes. So I do these other things. I do a few more things, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm ready to go. So I go to save again, and I still couldn't save. I was like, oh, it must be auto saving again. Weird.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
I'll give it a few minutes. I gave it a few minutes, and I try, and then I still see the little auto save symbol on the corner, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I try like a bunch of different things, and nothing. I couldn't save. Like it just would not let me save, and the game glitched somehow and got caught in this constant autosave loop.
Jesus.
And
Damn.
and I was like, what the fuck? Like I eventually just had to quit out. Like I literally remember putting the game in rest mode, coming back to it hoping the next day it would work, and it didn't. So like I
Yeah.
had to quit out and come back, and it's like I started up and Mosquito's standing outside Raisins. He's like, okay, we gotta go into Raisins, and we gotta. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I did all this
Damn.
shit, and luckily again, it wasn't more than 20 minutes, which is an acceptable amount of time to have to go back, but
Sure.
it's still annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
yeah.
like a boss fight.
It was a
Yeah,
boss fight.
that's-
The Raisins, the Raisins
do it
fight
all
was a
over
boss
again.
fight,
Damn.
and it was
that's
just the first
frustrating.
time. But
Yeah.
even still, like, it was a little annoying because there was a glitch that caused it to like me not to be able to save, but also didn't want to auto save. So like, I just had to
save.
load from the most recent auto save,
Yeah.
which was a good deal before, and I
Right.
didn't realize it until way after. I just assumed that it was fine, and then I kept playing.
Which just goes to show that like even the games that you're like really confident in their like auto save,
Yeah.
and even if they have hard saves,
Right.
like really up to date, like really good game, like hardly any glitches.
Yeah.
I didn't experience hardly any
Yeah.
bugs in that game.
Yeah.
Like even those games you pay $60 for, it's a really solid game technically. Can still have those issues. So
Yeah.
you like gotta be careful no matter what. You gotta fucking cover your ass, like no matter what the situation is.
And it's
Yeah.
frustrating. And like,
For sure.
I
This technology is
yeah.
fucking unpredictable
Right,
as
exactly.
fuck. Like,
Fucking power outages, anything like that.
yeah.
And it was just it was just frustrating. Like I can't God damn it, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm so sorry. Here I'm like
You should have saved that thought. There's no quick save thinking.
No.
I had a thought about a game that I played a while ago, where the save was really interesting. It was a game called Claire. It was a horror game that I bought.
Save was interesting.
And yeah,
The
the
game
save
was. Oh,
interesting.
you told
The
us
game was
about.
alright.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was an
the game
okay
was.
game. I did not finish it. It was a horror game. It was kind of like, it had kind of like a pixelated art style, very like low res art style. And the premise was that again, I didn't finish it, so I don't know the ending. Excuse me. But you like wake up in a hospital and your parents aren't there, and you get out of bed and you're like exploring the hospital. And then it gets all dark and there's like demons in the hospital and stuff, and it's like all dark.
So it's like a regular hospital.
There's no power and stuff. Yeah, pretty much.
Sounds fun.
There's no power or anything. And you end up finding people along the way that ask you to do quests for them and stuff. They're like, oh, I need this. It's in this wing of the hospital. Can you go get it for me? Blah blah blah. You end up having to fight monsters and stuff like that. But the way that they did the saves was that there were specific save points in certain rooms of the hospital. So you had to, make your way to one of those rooms to save if you wanted to save. So, if you did a quest for somebody, you should probably go to one of those rooms and save.
Yeah.
Or if you just defeated like a shitload of monsters in a hallway, you should probably find. And there weren't that many. There were really only like, there's probably one in every wing of the hospital.
Oh,
If there's
How,
like
how
5.
old is this game?
I don't even.
I would say
Legal age.
maybe a couple of years, but
Okay.
less than 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still pretty new, but it's not like super new.
Okay, because I was
Yeah.
going to say, it sounds very similar to Resident Evil 1 and 2 and 3,
yeah.
but...
Yeah, definitely way newer than Resident
Oh,
Evil
Right.
6.
But back then, I would actually forgive Resident Evil for doing that because video games were not as popular back then as they are today. So they didn't experience what a seamless saving style is.
Yeah.
They're still pretty big. but-
And like I understand the reasoning
Well,
for
yeah,
doing it, and
but-
it's definitely like the game in itself is definitely like calling back to retro style games, and it definitely had like a heavy Resident Evil influence. I
Right.
can see that just in the game style itself, but it made the game really challenging, but not in a fun way. In that if you're fighting a bunch of people, sometimes you would die frequently, and then you're nowhere near a save point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, they weren't really spaced out appropriately, or like, if you're really low on health, you end up just trying to get to a save point would kill you. So then
Right.
you're just stuck in this horrifying loop. Again,
Yeah.
if only there were
I
a
wish
word.
there was a word.
We're just stuck in this horrible loop.
Yeah, it was
of,
like,
of dying, and
Yeah.
it's not fun. So.
Yeah.
There's still actually several games today, but this is on some of their like super hard difficulties, for instance. And Evil Within 1 was one of these,
Oh, yeah.
which I forced myself to go through it, the Akumu difficulty. But one of the catches is that they reduce the checkpoint numbers. So, yeah, that's the kind of difficulty I'm not a big fan of. Like
Yeah.
I like challenging games, but that kind of failure recovery becoming even more difficult or even more annoying takes the fun out of the game.
It's just like adding insult to injury. Like you've already, like I've already died. Like, and now you're just gonna fuck me on top of that.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
I've
Necrophilia.
killed these
Yeah,
20
right.
guys several times, and then I keep dying to the boss, but you keep making me fight the same 20 guys over again.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That is
That's,
frustrating.
but that actually reminds me of what I was going to say before, so I apologize. Games that like have that like checkpoint system, or they fuck up your save.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of collectibles. So along the way, you get a bunch of collectibles, and then something happens and you die, or you lose your save, which is what happened to me in South Park. So it's like, God damn it, which fucking collectibles did I get? I can't
Right.
remember.
Yeah.
I have to
It's
go
not like
back.
it tells you which ones you collected and which ones you missed.
And you have to
Right.
go back and get them all over again. And it's shitty with certain games that have, again, like a lot of collectibles because,
Yeah.
like, you're like, okay, I have to, like, it's similar to the cutscene thing that we were talking
Yeah.
about in the beginning, at the top of the
Gotta go
episode.
do that again.
Okay, great. Now I need to get all these again. And then I have to suffer, and I have to fucking make sure I get complete this really difficult challenge, like beat a boss or some shit, so that I can save, so that I actually keep the collectibles, because every single time it loads, I don't have them anymore.
Yeah.
And, like, that's super annoying. Like, I actually can speak to something in terms of The Force Unleashed 2, which if you're playing through and you get, there's the holocrons, the Force holocrons that you can collect.
Right.
If you die, then you still keep them, so you don't have to get them again. But if you have to reload, then you have to get them again, which is fine, because it's rare that you have to reload, but it makes sense. If you like decide to quit, before you get to the next checkpoint, okay, you have to get them again, fine. But like games should be like that, where it's like if you die, you don't have to collect it all over again, because that's
things.
shitty.
Yeah.
But like
just grinding.
if you just have to go through all these steps, it gets monotonous and boring, and then you don't want to do it anymore, and then you have to. But you already got them, you know how to get them, so may as well get them again, because it's a collectible and you get some benefit from it. And then you have to try to fight the boss. It's just a shitty thing to do. Like,
you know what? In addition to the collectibles, though, another thing that really irritates me and would be a part of like the Fractured Butthole, and I guess maybe some other RPG games I don't play a lot, so I don't know, but is your settings.
Oh,
so like when in the Fractured Butthole you set up your team and you have your genetics, which is a specific kind of compilation that you create. And then there's your your powers, your artifacts, which is another part of it, and then your powers, which is another. Those are all settings that you can and like did I mention your team already? The people that you pick on your team. Yeah. So those are all things that you specifically decide and you assemble, and so that when you go into a fight, you're ready with exactly the way you want things to be for yourself. So if you set that up and then you die, sometimes you go back and then they're the way they were before, and you have to read. And you're like, shit, was I this class? Was I this class? What artifacts did I have equipped? Who did I have on my team?
And you can't,
blah blah blah.
Like, hard save it. So
I always hate that.
Yeah,
I always
frustrating.
hate like jumping into a battle and I'm like, okay, ready to go. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't change the settings this time. Now I have to stop and reload so that I can go back and change the settings before I jump into this battle.
Because that could make or break a fight. Your team or the way you have things aligned can make or break that fight.
Right.
Songbringer has a little bit of that, and although you can change your options on the fly, because like all your active powers like you can assign to buttons, but sometimes like if you die and then go back, and when you reload, the buttons were how they were before. So if you decided like for this particular fight, I want to use my throwy hat in this button, and then I want to use my healing in this button, and then you go, or you get like a new power that you can use. Like it's like, oh fuck, I forgot to reassign my buttons so that I could use this new power. So I need to stop the fight, pause it. Let me put this in here. Like it's just annoying, you know? Like it should just carry over, because it's like, this is what I decided this time, so let me have that the next time.
It's like an internal, like a subtle save kind of thing.
Yeah, where like just like save your settings.
Your settings.
Right.
And
then that would be nice.
A lot of games literally have that as a separate save. Like if you go back into your game saves, it's like blah 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 data, blah 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 profile settings, or something like that. You know, like they should have that. It's like, quick example, Brawl. Or Super Smash game, like I should say. Super Smash, like you can play the match a certain way. So you can play no enemies, no items. This is what I mean. No items. You can play no items, this many stock, this much time, blah blah blah. But then individually your character, you can be like, but I want my character, the controller layout to be like this.
Right.
And you can set that up if you want. But it would be really shitty if you had to set that up every single time you want to fight.
That'd be horrible.
Yeah, that would be a real. It would kill your momentum.
Yeah. I mean, it just would. Yeah, that would really be shitty.
So, but other games do that, like just for other settings, but other games do that, so it sucks.
Yeah.
One game I did want to mention just real quick that does, I think, checkpoints, just going back a little bit, that does checkpoints really well, was we started to play a little bit of Saints Row 4.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that it does a really fair checkpoint to hard save system. So like when you're in a mission, there's like a shitload of checkpoints.
Right.
It's like every 5 feet there's like a checkpoint. It's crazy. We're like, go to this checkpoint, go to this checkpoint, go to this checkpoint, you know. And it'll tell you when you've reached one too.
Okay.
So it'll be like checkpoint reached, which I think is really cool. But then when you're outside of a mission, the only way to save is through hard saves.
Yeah.
Which is cool because
it's open world.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is fine though, because if you die, your partner should revive you.
Right.
You don't really die.
Yeah.
You
Just go down.
You just go, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no real way to like fully die. But in the
Unless you don't get revived.
well, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But in the missions, if there's a higher propensity for you to die
Yeah.
because you're up against something, so it gives you all these opportunities to checkpoint, to save. Because it knows that you're up against something a lot more challenging than in the world.
Yeah.
And you can still die in a mission and just have your partner revive you.
Yeah.
But if you both die, then you just have the checkpoint system. So,
Right.
but it's so frequent that I almost never get frustrated during the missions because I'm like, oh, I literally went back like 30 seconds. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that game did a really good job of integrating both of those things, the checkpoints and the hard saves, in a way that like actually makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
That's a good safety net because it doesn't feel like I don't know, because it sounds like it doesn't feel like you're being like pampered, because I feel like part of the thing with not giving you reliable checkpoints is it's like we were talking about last time, like an artificial difficulty. It's just like remember all that stuff you did, you have to do it again. It's like I don't really want to. I just
Yeah.
want to.
And it makes you want to give up.
Yeah, I know.
It's not. It takes the fun out of it.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
fun anymore. It's
Right.
like, oh, this is just annoying.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get through all this again. Okay.
Because you
to
already
get to the
did
point
it.
that
Yeah.
exactly.
Right,
You
yeah.
and it's not even
monotonous.
like
Yeah.
it's one thing if it was like, oh, this is really hard to get to this point, and like it is actually, it's also shitty when that happens. But but it's like, no, I was already able to achieve this, and it's not like it was hard. I just got through it. So making me do it again is just boring because I already achieved it.
Yeah.
And then I want to get to the point where I couldn't do, and it's not like I expect to start exactly from the point that I
Right.
died, but like start me from the beginning of the battle. Don't
Yeah.
make me watch the cutscene before, or
Yeah.
collect all the collectibles before, or
Yeah.
do like the entire walk to the hall. Walk down a whole hallway before, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever the
Listening
form
to
of
Those
Those
audio
are
comms,
annoying.
yeah.
I hate that when they put you like, there's a battle. It's like all the way down, it's like inside a building, and you gotta go
Yeah.
you gotta navigate that
Yeah.
shit. It's horrible.
It's funny because sometimes they're like, oh, you got to refight these characters again. It's like, I don't like, okay, I know I fought them the first time and I lost some health. Just start me at the beginning of this battle with the amount of health that
Yeah.
I had when
Right,
I finished
right,
it. Because,
and-
like,
yeah.
I can probably do
Good
it
enough.
this time. It'll be fine. Like, I don't want to have to refight these characters because, like, yeah, I might end up with more health when I finish, or I might end up with less, but I don't care. Just
Just want
put
to
me
do it over again.
like
Yeah.
let
fun.
it be a Chris world where like I already did those actions, so like I will accept the consequences. I have maybe I only have a little
like
bit
a
of health.
man.
Maybe I only have a little bit of health at this point, but I'll finish the fucking fight with
Right.
this much health.
Yeah.
Like unless I want to start all the way from the beginning, but just let me start from there rather than being like, okay, you got to start and fight all these enemies all over again. Like I don't want to do that. Like I'm already trying to get in the mindset of what I had to be to fight this boss, because I had to adjust my playstyle maybe a little bit just, to accommodate to the challenges that this boss brings. So
Right.
like let me stay in that mindset rather than being like, okay, let me go back to the mindset of fighting people one by one. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just,
Yep.
so that's
Takes you
annoying.
out of it.
Well,
It's one of
sometimes
those
you
things.
just don't
It's
know.
flow
I mean,
breaker.
that's the nature of bosses, is that they throw you a curveball, and you're
Right.
like, oh shit, I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Now I'm dead. But then you like see that coming, and you're like, okay, now I just need
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
I need to dodge, or I need to maybe. We just had this happen in Saints Row
Shit.
when we were like, oh, okay, maybe we need to like not use as much rocket launcher.
When would that ever be the
Fuels.
case?
We were like, we need
'Cause
to
ammo.
save
You gotta
those.
save your ammo.
So that we can have
Sometimes.
them when we need them. We were like, okay, so next time we
Yeah.
didn't do that, and then we were fine.
I could see the temptation to just use all the rockets.
Well,
That's
yeah.
fair.
Yeah, why would
Yeah.
you not?
I know,
Again,
that's-
it's Saints
I mean,
Row,
it
which is
says
over the
it's
top,
like
so
shoot
it's like
the people, and we're like,
Shoot-
we have rockets.
shoot this with rockets. It's like, okay, I'm out of
Yes!
rockets. What do I do now? Like, and then the next time it's like, shoot him again. It's like, I'm already out of rockets. What did I?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Fun.
Throw your rocks.
Most of me and Dan playing Saints Row is just us running around trying to have sex with everyone.
That's fair. Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. A lot of the times I hit you with tentacle bats. But
Well,
It's tentacle porn.
Which
Tomato,
I guess-
tomato.
I was gonna say you did a lot of flashing in Saints Row 2, which isn't exactly sex,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
did.
like you
Yeah,
really
it's
porned it
up
up.
there.
Right
I
now,
definitely-
Dan is wearing a very, very tiny mini skirt.
Yeah,
In the
I
game.
believe that. Yeah.
Well, it's because
It's very short.
You get a trophy for playing 2 hours as a male and then 2 hours as a female.
and
so
he's got mad tits.
I mean,
Mad tits, like huge.
I was just imagining.
like
If I
every
was
time
there,
he turns, the graphics literally are like.
Oh my
if I was a woman, I would hope that I would have mad tits. I'm just saying. Anyway,
I thought it was just Dan's character in a miniskirt, just as Dan in a miniskirt.
I'm already halfway there. Halfway there.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, any closing thoughts on?
Fucking save your games, kids. If
Yeah.
you
Okay,
have an
I
option.
Chris didn't defend himself, and he had plenty of opportunity
That's
to.
true.
Oh,
So
Yeah, Mr.
you
One
need
Save.
to open more save files.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
No, Chris.
on the edge of
Tell
his-
us why it is not.
Yeah.
Why it is acceptable
is-
to only have one save file per game. Please. Thank you, Liz, for bringing.
Well,
that up.
Just risk, just the thrill
Yeah.
of being a madman.
basically. Let's say,
No,
I
please,
want to
please.
make
There's
every
games nowadays that have
every
permadeath.
game
Yeah.
is a telltale game for me
Living
now.
life
No,
on
no,
a-
no, 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 no. Here's why you're wrong, Chris. It's because video games, video
Chris,
games.
it's okay.
Like if you really wanted to, if you really,
I stopped listening to him a long time ago.
Don't okay, it's okay. Don't tell him it's okay because this is how. If you really want to play those games, or the first time you fucking lose or die, then that's it. You don't play that game again. If
You
really-
haven't seen me play XCOM.
If you really wanna, I haven't seen you play XCOM because what I'm saying is if you died the first time in XCOM, you would never pick up the controller again.
Not true.
Not for him.
No, Chris, you're not listening. What I'm saying is that if you really want to play, then permadeath it. You legitimately 100% permadeath. If that's how you want to play, if you want to play this as realistic as you can, then the first time you lose or die at the game, then you cannot play the game again. You have one life, period. That's how you could play
He's
games
like, I already do
if
that
you're
every
trying
day.
to act like you're playing games the way they're meant to be played.
That's not the case.
Chris
Yeah.
didn't say that. Chris didn't.
Chris is
not
trying to
say
say
that.
that you only have one save because that's the way it should be played. That's the
No,
way
no. He
you only
was just
make
saying
one.
that it's that he's
Exactly,
choosing
she can't
to live it
even-
like.
He likes the risk of starting over.
I do start over a lot.
He does start over a lot.
Yeah, we all know. Okay,
Chris, I'll
okay.
defend you even though I don't know how.
Okay, so again, Chris loves starting over games because he can play through Arkham Knight.
Well, it depends on the game. The beginning to Arkham Knight is amazing.
Yeah, but the rest of the game is also great. Just play the rest of the game. God damn
I
it,
do.
Chris.
Yeah, over and over.
I have
No,
fully
I know,
completed
I
that
know,
game.
I
a
know,
couple
I
of
know.
times.
You've beaten that game twice, probably,
No,
and you've played the
more than
beginning
that.
16
twice.
times. So
Yeah.
that's the difference. Regardless, all I'm saying is, Chris, multiple save games are a safeguard for
Like
not having to play through the game again. So if you're trying to say that you only make
Condoms.
one decision
Huh.
the entire time,
It's a net. It's a net and then another net and another net and another net.
Just like
You just
condoms.
gotta.
but I'm just saying, if
Who wants
you're
to go to that circus,
F
though?
wears 7 condoms.
And I've never been pregnant.
sometimes it's necessary
It's
because
also
that
never
way.
enjoyed sex.
Because if your save gets fucked up for some reason, then at least you only fall back a few hours rather than having to start over again or get a girl pregnant. You know?
Right. Because your
it's what's-
7-layer condom broke.
like
because-
a burrito.
Let's be honest.
7-layer burrito condom.
Cheese and
Let's
water.
be honest. Starting a
Same
game
together.
again is like getting a girl pregnant.
Yeah.
It's something you never want.
Yep.
And if it happens, you're just done. You're like, nope,
have to-
I'm not. I don't care anymore. I'm not any part
Too
of
much
this.
responsibility.
You're on
All
your
over.
own. Game or pregnant woman.
I'm
That's
pretty
the only
sure I
time
haven't
those ever
gotten
been
anyone pregnant, though,
equated.
so I don't have to worry about
But
that.
you
Right.
can't be sure.
Right.
Exactly.
Unless
Pretty sure.
you wear 10 condoms.
Right. Well.
On
So,
that note.
Chris always finishes way too early.
closing thoughts. Like
Way
one
beyond
final
the 9-month
sentence.
mark.
Yeah.
One final sentence regarding your feelings on saving. Go, Dan. Speed round.
Save often.
Yeah.
F. Go.
Save often.
Frofton.
Chris. Go.
Be a man.
The most important aspect is having both save points and checkpoints and using them together. It's not one or the other. It's both.
That
It's
was
important.
Wow, that was that was a good.
And
yeah.
Yeah, I thought mine through. I wasn't just a fucking
So did
idiot
I.
about it.
James, what do you have to say? The most important meal of the day.
Serving it
Serving
up.
up.
Gary's
Gary's
way.
way.
Serving it up.
GameRage.
Way.
Way.
Mwah.
Blech.
What? Thanks everybody for listening to GameRage. You can find more of our awesomely awesome stuff online at GameRage Club. That name is the same for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Twitch, your mailbox, our mailbox, your mom's mailbox. Speaking of mailbox, you can email us at contact.gamerage@gmail.com. And, all of our music is by Ozzed. That's OZZED.net. Thanks for the music, bud. It's awesome. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.